Hey guys, Daniel Faust, Learn and Live. Welcome to War Hero to Superhero, helping military, veteran, and first responders transform their lives from the bedroom to the boardroom. Hope you guys can join us either on Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, even on Twitch, and also on the Easy Way wall, which we're very much thankful. So this week, we are in the living room. Today is our last day. We hope you recharged yesterday as we did. And we hope that this is going over recharging for you to set for the week. So today's the last episode for the week for Vision in the living room. Schedules, routines, and rules. We think this and etc. is going to help our kids. And we're hoping that they gain this and more to thrive in life. But what typically happens when we put schedules and routines and rules across our kids? The system gets bucked. It just gets totally screwed over. Now, I didn't purposely miss out an F word. I meant bucked. So if you hear this wrong, you can laugh. But pretty much, the system gets bucked. But why is that? Why does the system go over and get bucked? Why is it our kids just go against that on a regular basis? You know why? You forgot the ice cream. I'm serious. You seriously forgot the ice cream. And what do I mean by that? So I want to share my story with you. So I've been in the military for almost 20 years, and I got married 6 years into the military, and I met my wife. And as a military man, you go over and you naturally are probably more disciplined and more thorough, and same thing for the ladies. And we think systems and routines are going to go over and save us. So we take the same thing that we do with our airmen or Marines or our sergeants, and we put that right in front of our kids. Now, from 0 to 5, the kids kind of were like, all right, systems, routines, everything else. Once they went over and got 5 and they entered into the school system, things just totally changed. And why did that happen? It's because they were developing into themselves. They were supposed to go over and become the person they were supposed to be. And what is our natural parent inclination? There's something going wrong. We're going to pull ourselves by our bootstraps, and then we're going to go over and still try to correct it. What happened was that we tried to make our kids, myself included, to what our soldiers were, and they're not soldiers. So when we're visiting the living room, we can take some of those war hero to superhero strategies and bring them into the living room. But reality is that we need to get our bachelor's degree in our kids to go over and to thrive. And in that particular regard, if we're not going over and doing that, we're going to be having difficulty. So how do you go over and connect? So you can have them start imbuing these systems and these processes, because overall systems and schedules and routines and processes are a good thing. But the thing is that if I just enforce that and I don't go connect with my kids, just like if you don't connect with your soldiers, they could follow for a season, but they're not going to follow for a lifetime. No matter if it's your 12-year-old son or it's your 22-year-old airman, they both have the same parameter. But the thing is that the kids that are in the living room are going to build a legacy into tomorrow. The airmen that you're going to connect with, you might have a few years under your belt, and you hope that they would build a legacy. But the legacy that's most important is in the living room. So here's a couple things. You need to get to know them. You're like, that takes lots of time. So I want to help you learn about them in a faster fashion. So sharing another story, I did the same thing for my wife. I went over when I first got married. I tried to bring rules, regulations, systems, and processes and whatnot, and it didn't go over and work. So I had to get a doctorate degree in my spouse. And one of the things that I majorly learned was to actually get to know my spouse on how her values and personality style is. So I took the same thing in my doctorate degree, and since it's part of humanity, and I added it now in my bachelor's degree again to know my kids. I'm not perfect at this, but I wanted to share this for you guys to have an understanding and at least a foundation for it. And if you really want to learn more, you see the scrolling link that's on the bottom. I'd love for you to go over and connect and to crack your code. So first off is you got the blueprint. As you can see this card right here, I'm just going to show you really quick. So this is the first thing you go over and learn. So your kid might go over and register in this blueprint card right here. In the blueprint card, your kid is, if they are a blueprint kid, they like stability, they like systems, they like structures, they like planning and predictability. These kids are going to do great with the systems and structures, processes, rules, and schedules, and those types of things. For these kids, they also like tradition, they like titles, they're probably going to gravitate towards the military or in law enforcement or some type of future job because of that. So those kids usually don't go over and buck the system. But those kids are only a percentage of the world population. And again, we're not totally one style or the other. So this is just one of the styles. So if your kids resonate with these pictures right here as the most, then they're going to go over and you're going to have an easy time going over and parenting if you're bringing the rules and the structures and whatnot. But we talked about going over and you forgot the ice cream. The other major styles want the ice cream, and I'm going to tell you why. The next one is action. So maybe your kid goes over and resonates with this. Let me raise this a little higher. There we go. And they might resonate with these symbols. They might go over and want the fast car. They love the high fives. They love the action. They love the money. They love the superheroes and the competition. For this type of kid, they go over and like freedom. They like flexibility. They like opportunities. They love to be the action kid going over. He's doing something, doing something, doing something, doing something. They love to have stimulus in their lives. They love winning. They like to have fun. This type of kid wants the ice cream at a fast pace, going over and doing the things that go over and engage them. So when you bring systems, structures, rules, and whatnot, if there's no fun in that particular plan, you're not going to go over and connect with them. So you have to bring the fun within the systems and structures. And when you go over and do that, then that kid naturally goes over and thrives. But you probably say to yourself, maybe that's not my kid, or maybe that's just part of my kid. The next type of kid is the nurturing kid. I'm going to bring this up a little bit. There we go. And this particular kid, they have their heart on their sleeve. They love serving people. They love to have friendship and cooperation. For them, they go over and value relationships. They value significance. They value teamwork. They're the ones that want the warm hugs. They want the in-depth conversations. They want that community. They want that contribution. So if you bring the systems and processes and structures, they might be compliant, but they might be passively going over and dying because you're just bringing just that. So for them, they need the ice cream to go over and connect. The ice cream for the action is for the fun. The ice cream for the blueprint is consistency. And lastly, on the knowledge piece, and that's this card over here, one moment. This one, because it's a green screen, is fading in the background. So hopefully you can see the white that's on there. Let me raise that up. Oh, nope. Oh, that's so funny. For this type of person in their knowledge, they like to be the brain. They like to go over and think. They like the credentials. They like the science. For them specifically, they like to go over and learn. They like to master things well. They like that research and development. They like to look at the big picture. They like to look for accuracy. So when you're having ice cream for them, they want to dive into it from a science point of view, dive in it from an informational point of view, dive in it from an intellectual conversation to go over. Maybe you're connecting that with maybe books or discussion and whatnot. For them, they really want to know the ins and outs of why you do what you do compared to the actual ice cream in itself. So no matter where you're at in the vision for the living room, talking about you need to don't forget the ice cream, we need to connect with our kids at their basic value level. When you go over and do this, no matter what the circumstances and the age, you'll go over and thrive with them. So here's my challenge to you today is take the time to crack their code at www.crackmycode.com, Thrive Not Survive. Obviously the ticker that's going by, I'm going to take that off for a second. And from there, you can go over and connect a lot better by taking 90 seconds of your day. And look, I'm not laggy. Yay! Man, that ticker takes up a lot of bandwidth. I'm only going to do that for a few seconds next time. But you can go over and connect with your kids a lot better when you start understanding. Because I almost lost my marriage and my kids, and I have to watch that on a regular basis because I tend to go towards blueprint. Oh, wrong card. Blueprint. I tend to go towards this style. It's not my natural, but my military heart goes over and calls this particular style. And when I go over and do that, most of my kids are this and this. And if I'm not going over and visiting these cards, because we're built with all these, whoops, nope, that one. Yep, I'm doing it the right way. Nope, I'm not doing it. So most of my kids in my household are these two styles, and they'll vacillate back and forth between these two. And then the other two, the blueprint. It's so hard to find cards when you're doing this. Boop, boop. Yeah, when I'm visiting only these two, I'm not connecting that well. My kids visit these cards in stress typically, not as much as my son. Wrong card, not as much as my son. But the long story short is that if we continue to go over and take our military tactics and don't contextualize them to our kids, get our bachelor's degree in our kids, we can lose our kids. And how do you keep vision? How do you go over and make them thrive to get to their vision, their dream, and their destiny? You have to have those times of interpersonal connection based on who they are instead of what you want them to be. What you want them to be is probably not what their particular vision is. And the thing is that I never thought I'd have a son that would go over and like Minecraft so much. I never thought I'd have a daughter that liked art so much. The other two daughters are still shaping and molding. And the thing is that I'd rather have them go towards their vision, their dream, and their destiny than to bring the rules and the structure. It's important to teach them those disciplines, but it's more important to go over and connect with them. So maybe you need to go over and absorb some of that stuff yourself. This is me talking to myself too, to go over and to connect with them. So I want to thank you for going over and joining, no matter if you watch us on Facebook, YouTube, or anywhere else. Next time I won't go over and do the ticker so much. But we wanted to help you go over and grow vision in your living room by going over and understanding your kids so you can properly empower them to their legacy. Because if you're not empowering them to the legacy, you might just go over and lose them. So I challenge you to go over and take this severe challenge seriously. And we'd love for you to go share their codes. Now, if you're struggling in this place in the vision of your kids in the living room, we'd love to go and connect with you. We give 5 minutes free to every military veteran first responder. And if you want to start your family superhero track as low as $10 a month, because it's a higher category, you can go start that family superhero legacy. We'd love to go and connect with you. Please go over and continue to like and subscribe to our pages and posts. We're hoping that you're liking the content that we're doing for you guys from other veterans. And we hope to connect with you soon. And you'll be seeing service now tonight at 8 o'clock. So thank you for going over and joining. You guys have a great week. If you're a reservist and you're drilling, hope you have a great UTA. Here to go over and serve you guys. And we'll catch you next week. And again, this is always a conversation. So don't just think because you're watching, you can't engage. You always can, especially on Podopolo, where we do dynamic interactive podcasts. So hope to see you soon. Thanks.